The Democrats had a really great day yesterday. It's been a great week. If you're watching this on one of my socials, I recently posted a video recapping about 15 wins in the courts, the district courts and the Court of Appeals levels. That's really great. Yesterday, we had four great pieces of news, and today we get the news that Elon Musk is stepping down for Doge earlier than usual, which is great because I've said before, he comes from wealth, so he doesn't understand the needs and importance of government because he's not even originally from the United States, so he may not be familiarly aware with the fact that government is about providing services that are critical for the people, for our health and well-being. The safety nets, that's part of government. He comes from a private sector world where the priorities may be trimming, keeping things slim and trim and sledgehammer approach. You can do that on Twitter. You can do that in private sector world, but in the public, that's not how we do things. He had the opportunity to do it properly, get properly authorized, be confirmed by Senate, take a scalpel approach, do the research data stacks, make sure you meet the basic minimum requirements of the Administrative Procedure Act, and do everything you wanted to do properly. But instead, they go in this rogue operation. It's sloppy. They're not accountants, and it's a mess. And I'm hoping not just the end of he just stepped down. Actually, Doge and everything they've done needs to be unwound, as we've seen the courts have been actually doing this and stopping them and slowing down. So this is not how we do things. We built this country 238 years. There's systems and processes and procedure to avoid this scenario where on a whim, arbitrary and capricious, just on policy, just on because of culture wars, you do things. That's not how it works because it's never been done that way before. That's not how it works in the public sector. Anyway, so that's great news. I hope the entire Doge system comes down. Yesterday, the tipping point could have been he tried to buy a Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. Susan Crawford, the Democrat, won, and he put all that money in there, including trying to unlawfully purchase votes by having a raffle, giving away $1 million to two voters. The AG for Wisconsin kind of bumbled the way he tried to stop him, but we'll talk about it in another case. But it's great, and this is why it's great that he lost and Susan Crawford won, because it's empowering. I see a lot of people in my comments to my videos, and just I see them a lot on social media being defeatist, saying it's the end of government, democracy is over, you now have a dictatorship, all these things, just really disempowering when the fact remains that Donald Trump won by 22% of the United States population. It's the tyranny of the minority that he didn't win more than the popular vote. He didn't get over 50% in the popular vote. In each swing state, he won by a margin of only less than 200,000 votes. And in each swing state, 1 million people sat out. That's not a mandate. And he really went hot and heavy these last 65, 70 days or so, just going crazy and rogue, overestimating the extent to which people wanted this. And so you guys were loud and really vocal saying, no, this is not what we want. So that's empowering. The second thing, even though Elon has stepped aside, we can still use him as an albatross around the neck of the Republicans, around Donald Trump. We've seen it in the town hall, and everything he touches poison. So that's a great thing that we have. It also was empowering yesterday to see Cory Booker break Strom Thurmond's filibuster record of speaking on the floor of the Senate and House of Congress for 25 hours yesterday. The record was 24 hours. And he was there 24 hours. And it's also historic, but great because both of them, Strom Thurmond was 55 years old when he tried to stop the passage of the Civil Rights Act, to try to stop people like Cory Booker from getting rights. And Cory Booker is also 55 years old, and he's doing almost the opposite. While his speech was not just focused on scaling back white supremacy, which is a big crux of the Trump administration, but also trying to stop all the things he's doing in terms of being horrible to the people and the public and elderly and just education and science, and just trying to take us back to the 1950s where that era, the Strom Thurmond was trying to protect during his filibuster. So it was a really momentous time. And it got our girl Kamala Harris to come out. She did. She came out. She said, "Congratulations to Susan Crawford." She came out with a statement. Congratulations, Cory Booker, on his record-breaking speech at the Congress. And a lot of people were asking where is she? And I had some thoughts on that. I'm gonna put that in a separate video. But it's great to see her out. And this is the beginning. And she took 4 months after you lose to one of the worst people possible, which again, it was because of things like, misogyny, sexism, people have short memories. Folks are Donald Trump, like some people say he cheated, and then they probably got outplayed with the ground game in terms of he probably most likely exploited some low information voters. All of those are possible, and all of those could have happened. But she still lost to like one of the most terrible people. So she warned y'all, and now y'all seeing it, and you guys are begging for her. So 4 months, beg. She comes out, just say thank you. Don't be like, where were you? Just be like, thanks for coming. Thanks. We're sorry. Now we know the errors of our ways. So that's great. I'm going to talk more about that in the future video. And then the final thing, we saw the narrowing of while the the first and sixth district of Florida still remained red, there was a narrowing. I'm making up these numbers, but it went from 30%, that district went 30% for Trump 4 months ago. And now the winner this time was 18%. So that's almost half in 4 months. So imagine now Donald Trump keeps on his little tyranny tour, and we'll continue to narrow that margin, even though it's not a complete win. It's a win to the extent that we were able to close it out. And I've always said this, I don't trust the Trump voters. I don't trust Republicans. We're not going after them. The goal, I think, purpose is to go after the non-voters, the people who sat out, because they're the ones could have made a difference in this race, not the voters. Because the Republicans, they may or may not. You just can't trust them. I'm sorry, whether you have remorse or not. I just can't trust you, especially voted for him once, twice, 3 times. I just don't trust you, and we just don't trust you. You have bad decision making, and you could forget, and he can give you a stimmy check, and you can vote for him again. So we don't trust y'all. So what we do trust is the people who sat out, and so that could have been some of it. It could have been some of the people who, like the buyer's remorse people. Great to narrow that gap, but that's a great thing. So it was a really, really good day yesterday, and yeah, so this is great. This is great momentum. It's empowering. Democrats, it was a referendum on Trump, it was a referendum on Musk, and it was a short time. And on Trump, it's a unforced error, because as I've said before, he had the opportunity to skate in on Biden's economy. No matter how much Republicans try to say it was bad, you all know that you're better 4 months ago under Biden than you are right now. With the looming trade wars, with the prices still the same, and we're being alienated from the rest of the world. It's stressful. It's anxiety filled. You're looking at reduced services from all the federal workers going down. You try to get your tax refund back. All these things. You call on social services. You want to go to the park. You want to get anything done. You want to call for help. You have any food regulations. All these things are going services. You're going to realize how important government is now that they've tried to trim and take away federal government work. That's going to help you realize, oh, smack, yeah, we needed government. It may have been bloated, but the way they did it, just now you know. And perhaps you needed to experience this in order to appreciate it. Maybe not. Who knows? But what we do know is that that's the end of that. That's the it's not the end, but it's the beginning of the reckoning. It's the beginning of them realizing what they're saying behind closed doors. We know this, or behind closed doors, they're saying they don't like this. They think that Trump's trade practices are a mess. He's tanking the stock market. He had an opportunity to coasting on the Biden economy, the way he coasted on the Barack Obama economy. A lot of people remember they had better times during the Trump era, because the first 2 years of the Trump era was really Obama economy. He didn't tank it like he is Biden. Consumer confidence is going down. We under Biden, home prices were doing pretty well. Retail sales were doing pretty well. The stock market was up. We had month after month job growth. The GDP, everything was on the rise. We're going up. The rate of inflation was decreasing. We were the envy of the world. He was upward trajectory. Donald Trump decided, I don't want peace, I want problems. So he coasted in and tried to make his own way and think he's smart, do his own economy, and it's not working, and it's not going to work. And no matter how many times economists and everyone else, Cato Institute, even Republican leaning, conservative leaning institutions said this is not going to work out. He's arrogant. He thinks he knows everything. He's running us into a recession, into just maybe it needs to be done. Maybe it needs to be done in order for you guys to realize you made a mistake and to stop. You already empowered this man who's inept and is a criminal felon and doesn't know what he's doing, and destroyed the deficit and the economy and our esteem in the world the first time. To put him back in power is a shame on us, and it's embarrassing. So I hope you learned your lesson. All right, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to chime in on that. If you're not following me, follow me here or JJ Legal on all social. I have a tracker. It's a companion document to the work I do here at outlasting47.com. I always say I need to update it. I definitely need to update it. And yeah, or follow me on my private communities. All right, take care and keep shining. Watch this playlist here if you're watching this on YouTube, or check it out below if you're watching this on TikTok.